ever done that, John?
Yeah.
No, I've never done that.
Welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? It's the WWE Hell in a Cell watch along of the end of the main event, and then we'll do a little post-show wrap-up of the whole show.
I got a lot to say about this.
You got a lot to say about Speak up, man.
I got a lot to say about this. I mean, I can't comment on it now as it's going, but I got a lot to say.
But you see what just happened before.
Well, Bray Wyatt's got a comically absurd hammer that's apparently destroying Seth Rollins.
Bray Wyatt's got like a clown version of Triple H's sledgehammer that he's hitting Seth Rollins with. This match has been super weirdo. There's like red lights on it.
It's like an old school Cain match where everything would just be red.
Yeah.
Or Sin Cara.
That too, yeah.
So they're in the cell. This match has not been particularly good. This pay-per-view has not been particularly good.
Title changes, though.
We'll break it down. There's been a lot of title changes, a lot of news. How we looking? Yeah? Do we look better here tonight? Like, I feel like the image is sharper with the new software. We're using new software for the show.
I always look good.
Is the image sharper?
It will be when we do the.
It will be eventually.
Looks
Now
like
it looks the same. It just looks sharper for me on my monitor here, but
so many kicks by Seth.
yeah,
So
this
many.
match has not been good. The Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks Hell in a Cell was much better. Hey, Seth just hit his curb stomp.
That's like the third time he's hit it. That's
Another
like-
curb stomp.
That's the fourth.
Is he gonna hit him with 3 in a row here? Another curb stomperoo.
That's how he beat Brock, no?
Oh, you got to pin him here, right?
He's not really down, though, kind of.
Oh man, Seth has hit Bray Wyatt with more curb stomps than he's hit anybody else.
Oh,
And
here we
that's-
go.
Oh, that's how you win a match.
There we go.
Pedigree curb stomperoo.
Oh,
1, 2, 3.
No.
whoa, like
Was
a
that a
one?
1?
It's the mask.
That's insane.
The mask gives him invincibility.
Wow, the Fiend is super powerful.
There's no way Seth can win now. Like, he kicked out of a pedigree.
Yeah, right? How's Seth going to beat him now? He's hit him with like 30 stomps. Another stomp.
Man, his finish looks weak as hell now.
7 or 8 stomps now. He just keeps doing it over and over and over. Like, what the heck? I'm really hoping this doesn't end like this, because this is a horrible way to end this match. Why was this the main event over the other match?
Why is Bray Wyatt employed?
People
Wow.
reacted
A lot of questions to ask.
towards that entrance. People love the entrance.
What entrance?
The Fiend entrance.
He just walks and there's strobe lights.
Yeah.
And he's got a head. It's nothing you can't see at, like, some roadside haunted house.
The more we see the Fiend, the less I'm impressed by him, right?
They seem to love him, though.
As a great
Who's
GSP
they?
would say, I'm not impressed by your performance.
I think WWE loves him.
People,
Clearly, they put him in the main event.
people do like him.
The only thing the Fiend is better at than anybody is kissing Vince McMahon's ass.
I don't think that's what he's good at.
Oh, you know he does, though.
Probably.
You know he does.
So Seth
Talks about how
has
Barry
like a
Windham
steel
respected
chair.
Vince and stuff like that.
Seth is looking at Bray like, oh, he just hit him in the head with a chair.
He's gonna pay a fine.
Still a 1.
Wow. You can't kill the Fiend. Good God
Oh,
Almighty.
great acting there by Seth Rollins. Real tour de force performance Seth Rollins is giving.
I
us.
guess because he hit him because he has a mask, it doesn't count as a headshot, I guess.
The mask is invincible.
Right. So, I guess it didn't count.
Oh, he's gonna give Concerto?
I think he's going to do a lot of things because he's got more plunder.
Yeah.
This is quite long for him just to do whatever he's going to do here.
Man, can we watch Succession?
I'd like to.
I mean,
This is almost over.
I know we're still with like 10 minutes, but there's a phrase I'd like to use towards these guys.
Okay, you got a 2 count. So
Wait, that's not it? I thought.
heck no, that shouldn't be it. Like the
What do you mean,
stomps.
heck no?
What, a chair with a ladder and you just like dropped it on him? Like that should be a
Tried
finish?
to send it, didn't
Why
work.
not? Just anything.
No,
Crush his
no,
head
no.
like a watermelon.
No.
No, for real. Just like Cave Bray Wyatt's head in. Just do it.
The problem here is like it's just Bray like still lying on the mat for like a good 5 minutes here.
No, is he gonna rise up like Undertaker?
I'm hoping just so we get something else because like nothing's really happening now. There's a lot of downtime. That's the problem. Like when you have these kind of matches when it's singles, there's a problem like when you have like TLC kind of thing. There's just so much downtime because you don't have extra guys to put up stuff for you.
Why is this match still going on? Seth hit him with everything. He hit him point blank in the face with a chair.
Well, now he's getting more plunder. Let's see if he can beat him with plunder.
Oh, plunder. He's
More
a pirate.
more plunder.
Yeah.
Arr, mateys.
That was a real Dusty Rhodes statement there.
Strike your colors.
He's coming at him with more plunder, baby.
He got a bicycle.
He's gonna hit him with the plunder and the lightning. Did you say plunder and lightning, Dream? That's right, baby.
Rest in peace, Dream.
Okay, he's got the toolbox.
Oh, it worked.
Was he Tim Taylor?
I guess. Yep. Some home improvement right there.
This is weak. And it's still gonna be a 1 count.
No, he got a 2 last time. Like, this is weakening him. This is just crummy because, like, this is the best you can think of. All the cool ideas you could do. Especially all the cool ideas we saw in Becky and Sasha. This is not that cool.
Bray Wyatt's not a very cool guy.
Well, to be fair, this is all Seth and whatever he's doing right here.
Well,
I'm just discussing things off camera with the producer. You see me talking and gesturing. We got some new things going on the Ringside Report Network, and some of these shows that we're doing, Smackin It was a bit of a tester show, and this show tonight is a bit of a tester for some new equipment that we're working. So
we got a
you
producer
guys are
Artie over here.
Yeah, that's it. We got the producer over here, and Johnny and Big Ben Simon taking care of the
Big Ben.
watching
Yeah,
the
Big
wrestling.
Ben. What is he? Quarterback
Ben,
now
brother.
for the Steelers? Like,
Hey, don't lump me in with
Oh
that.
no!
folks.
I was saying like a clock in England.
okay.
I was just saying because people call him Ben, and he's bigger than me.
Actually, Big Ben's not the clock. It's the tower itself.
Shut up.
Or is it the clock and not the tower?
Nerd alert.
Actually, I'm not sure. It's one or the other.
He has a
It's
sledgehammer,
not
by the way.
clock and the tower.
He did
It's
the
one.
pedigree,
Yeah.
and now he's got the sledgehammer.
That's right.
Eh.
That's how you do good wrestling.
Hey, John.
Sledgehammer pedigree.
I don't think I've ever heard this. Give us your Triple H.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a Triple
So
H.
make your voice gruff. Speak.
All you got to do
from
is
the-
say after every word.
And your sentence.
I could probably do the like that.
Well, like an eh.
Yeah, give me a
Eh.
Do it again. Hold on. Don't talk over him. Let's hear it.
Do it. Eh.
It's not bad. Say the game.
Take care, Mr. Producer.
What just happened?
He just hit him with the sledgehammer. With the
That's
ladder on top.
right. You've got to use my gimmicks if you want to.
What just happened? He hit him with the sledgehammer and what? Pinned him
No, I didn't pin him.
under a pile of stuff.
I think the ref is asking.
The
like,
bell rang though, didn't it?
I think the
The
ref.
cell's raising.
The ref called the match.
Why?
Is he dead?
So Seth just hit him with a sledgehammer, and the ref decided to ring the bell and end the match. What is this?
Yep.
What is the meaning of this?
Turn the house lights on.
Because what? He killed the Fiend?
I guess so.
Well, they're getting a stretcher out here. They're getting all sorts of stuff. The lights are still all red. You would think they'd bring the house lights up if it's a serious medical emergency.
The match is over.
You'd have the announcer saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is not part of our entertainment for this evening."
This sucks.
Yeah. Boo.
Bad way to end a bad pay-per-view. Booze all around.
But Seth Rollins is still the Universal Champion.
How many smacks do I give this?
Are you supposed to not
Thankfully,
give
only
it
one
any
smack.
smack? Yeah, like
One smack is what I gave it. It's a one smack pay-per-view.
I give this 2.
oh, now he's back.
Those were stiff.
He's back with the mandible.
Those hurt. Oh, Bray's back. He's revived, and he's attacking Seth with a mandible claw. So why is this stupid match over? No, I'm good. It's fine. Why is this stupid match over? If the Fiend is still alive and he's beating up Bray Wyatt, the Fiend was never dead. Like, I don't understand. Seth Rollins hit him point blank in the face with a chair, But for some reason, when he hits a ladder that's on top of the Fiend with a sledgehammer, that's when they end the match? What?
And yet it's going to be Seth left lane, I'm sure, the way this pay-per-view's going to end.
So now the Fiend just beat up Seth, put the mandible claw on him, and then hit him with Sister Abigail outside of the ring. The cell has been raised. There's a stretcher out. It was there for Bray, but maybe they'll wind up using it for Seth. This is so stupid.
It's also to set up their future ambulance match.
How do you end a Hell in a Cell match like this?
You know an ambulance
Wait,
match is
they're
happening
chanting
now.
something. What are they saying?
They want something. I heard we want
I
something.
don't know.
We want to finish.
We want Kenny. AE-dub. AE-dub.
Oh, by God, that's exposed concrete, Cain.
What's he going to do?
Hey, Fred. Fred's watching.
Oh,
Sup,
what's up, Fred?
I feel bad for Fred if he's watching this. Hell in the Cell, not us.
Fred's a big Seth Rollins fan.
He's had better matches.
Oh, yeah, this match was not good. Oh, he hit him with the Sister Abigail on exposed. Whatever, he didn't really. This is weak. This is super weak. And you know what? As boring and uneventful as this match was, now we're going to get a rematch.
No, because like Seth's in the Team Flair and Team Hogan match, so.
Oh, the Fiend can interrupt. Oh, that's fake blood.
There's fake blood
Oh,
coming
that's a
from
fake
Seth
blood
Rollins'
pack.
mouth. Fake blood pack in Seth Rollins' mouth while the
That's
Bray,
a lot of fake blood.
the Bray Wyatt sound effects are going.
Yeah, there's like a constant stream coming out.
There's like a pool
little too
almost.
big.
There's like a pool of blood. Like
That's corn syrup.
It's ridiculous. Is that how you're ending the show?
I think so.
God. Just got a text from my buddy Brian. He says, "This is terrible." That's the text.
I think Vince thinks he's like Alfred Hitchcock or something.
Well, going into this, I thought the first Saudi Arabia event we saw this year was probably one of the worst pay-per-views, but I think this one easily was worse.
Come on, guys, everybody. Come on, John.
This is not great. I'm
Do
not.
your Scott Hall fingers.
Well, is it
The
over?
Scott Hall fingers?
Is
like
it
that?
over?
Yeah,
It is
it's over.
over.
Thankfully.
Boo!
Boo!
Wow, that was rough.
That was
Words.
terrible.
That was rough to watch.
Wow.
That was
Really rough.
That was a load
Goldberg's
of crap.
coming up. Yes.
Boo!
John,
It
let's
gets
not
better.
promo that. We're about to do a post show.
Yeah, don't watch that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are you doing here? Promoing a WWE's nonsense. Watch us. Pay attention to us. This is the post show now. Hell in a Cell is over, Brother Nero. And
Thank goodness.
yeah, that was not a great show. That was not great.
What was good? I'm trying to figure out
The
what was
opening
good.
match was
The
good.
opening match, Becky Lynch.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch beating Sasha with the disarmer to retain the Raw Women's title. That was my match of the night. Becky taking the double knees into a chair, into a ladder, through a table. Like, Becky took some nasty stuff, mostly via double knees and weapons from Sasha Banks. Some stiff shots with a kendo stick. Becky did that sweet Bexploder suplex on Sasha off the top rope onto a bed of chairs and then followed it up with a disarmer to get the win. Sasha got perched up at one point on a steel chair, like outside the ring, attached to the Hell in a Cell structure. And then underneath there were kendo sticks. And then Becky did a cool drop kick on the apron on Sasha, who was sitting on that chair. That was cool. Nice spots, innovative violence. Shout out to Tommy Dreamer, you know? Good stuff there. I like the match. Match of the night by far. It was not really great after that. There were a couple moments that were, you know, not bad. But overall, not a great show. Matches that weren't terrific. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of title changes. But as far as match of the night, I don't know about you. I don't know about you guys. But match of the night for me was Becky and Sasha.
Well, I only walked in when that match was happening, so I didn't catch all of it. But even with that, I still thought it was probably the best thing I saw all night, because everything else was very meh at best.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to recap, we saw some news this week or on the show tonight. New champions, Kabuki Warriors, become the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They beat Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Tamina became the new 24/7 champion, taking the title from Carmella, but then R-Truth took it from Tamina after a Carmella super kick. And Charlotte Flair becomes the new SmackDown Women's Champion, now a 10-time champion in the WWE. And that was the big news. I mean, it wasn't an uneventful show, right? But, it wasn't a particularly entertaining show either. And in between the matches that did mean something, there was a lot of filler. Randy Orton beating Mustafa Ali. A nothing match, nothing really spectacular there, and you knew the finish was going to happen. It was a foregone conclusion. Chad Gable beat Baron Corbin. A little bit of a surprise that Gable got the win with a roll-up there. Corbin tried to use his scepter, and the referee took it away, which allowed the distraction and Gable to just roll up Corbin. But, we've seen these guys wrestle so many times. Wasn't a terrible match, but it's just not something you need to see, especially on one of these special events, a pay-per-view on a Sunday night. Man, it was just a lot of filler. And even the matches that were, meaningful, like the main event here, and that's really a big part of why this show I thought was underwhelming. The main event was not good. The Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt main event for the Universal title was terrible. It had a non-finish, as we just saw. Seth Rollins hits Bray Wyatt with a sledgehammer. He didn't even hit Bray Wyatt. He hit the ladder that was on Bray Wyatt.
Right.
And then the referee's just like, oh, that's it. Call for the bell. A million referees show up at ringside. They bring a stretcher immediately like they were ready for this to happen. And the match just ends. Before that, Seth hit Bray with like 15 curb stomps. He grabbed a chair, he stood over him, and he smashed him right in the face with a chair. Only got a 1 or a 2 count out of that. The referee didn't stop the match there. For some reason, you hit a guy who's got a ladder on top of him. You hit the ladder with a sledgehammer, and they end the match. Terrible finish to the match. And then the Bray Wyatt beatdown afterwards where Bray beat up Seth, and then there was fake blood capsule in the mouth for the mandible claw, and that's how you end the show. It's like, man, that's not a good way to end a pay-per-view. That's not a good Hell in a Cell match. It's not a memorable match. Up until that point, the match wasn't particularly good. Becky and Sasha did way more in their match.
No question.
Shame on them, man. Shame on The Fiend and Seth Rollins for being in the main event. They didn't deserve that spot. It should have been Becky and Sasha, really.
Well, second year in a row, too, we got a non-finish in Hell in a Cell because we got it last year with Roman and Braun. Remember, it was just no contest because Brock showed up and hurt everybody?
Right. But at least then Brock Lesnar took everybody out. The Fiend was declared medically unfit to continue, and a minute later he was on his feet delivering a beatdown to the champion. It's like the match clearly could have continued.
Yeah, well, the ref screwed up. The ref screwed up a lot tonight.
Big time.
The ref's decision.
Yeah, the refs didn't see all the green mist from the Kabuki Warriors, right? Asuka used the famous Japanese green mist that's currently being used in New Japan by Bushi, but we know many great Japanese wrestlers in the past, Tajiri in the WWE, the great Muta, and many others have used that green mist, and Asuka using it tonight for the Kabuki Warriors to become the new women's tag team champions. They become the 4th champions in the history of the belts. It's gone from Sasha and Bayley to the Iconics to now Nikki and Alexa, and now to the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I was really happy for them. I'm a big fan of Asuka and Kairi Sane. I think they're both fantastic wrestlers, and they deserve something. And I'm happy to see them get these tag team titles because it means we might see them on TV more regularly, and that's good for the WWE because they're very talented performers. So that was really one of the lone bright spots of the night. I like the finish. I like the green mist. The match itself was okay. It was okay, but it wasn't spectacular.
I'm imagining maybe they want to break up Alexa and Nikki Cross. Maybe they don't want them on the same show. That's why they had them lose the belts.
They don't have very much chemistry. They were kind of lumped in together into this kind of fake friend thing, and then it was abandoned. So they're just like, well, they're tag team. I think this was just a way to kind of write it off, and they'll just get separated at the draft and go their separate ways.
It'll just be over. They don't really break up in a meaningful way. They just get drafted apart. Doesn't make sense. The
They
draft
didn't get together in a meaningful way either, though.
The draft happens on Friday.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, who knows who's going to go where? Who knows where the women's tag team titles will go? Because right now that seems to go on both shows, but really can only go on one after the draft, right?
I guess, yeah, eh?
And the 24/7 title as well. It's kind of weird. Another championship that seems to go on both shows.
I think it would make sense for the women's tag team titles to go on Raw, because then at least they could be defended on NXT as well.
Right. And you can say the same thing for the 24/7 title.
Make them USA Network belts, right?
But haven't they also defended, like, or you seen title changes for the 24/7 title done on Fox? Didn't someone on Fox, like a Fox anchor, win one of the championships one time?
Possibly, but they could stop that.
They could, but maybe Fox loves that. And if Fox loves it, they're taking it.
Fox is getting a lot. They
Yep.
got Brock Lesnar as WWE champion.
Cain Velasquez.
They got Cain Velasquez. But they don't have Tyson Fury.
Well, he
Because-
showed up, though.
Well, he was on SmackDown, but he's going to be at Raw tomorrow night in Bakersfield, California.
Well, because Braun Strowman is the guy he's feuding with, right? And I guess Braun's going to be on Raw, so.
I guess Braun's sticking to Raw for the time being. This Tyson Fury-Braun Strowman thing has got legs, and apparently this match could happen on Halloween, the October 31st show in Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel. Braun Strowman versus heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury.
I'm not looking forward to that match whatsoever, but if they want to book it, sure. I mean, people were interested in Big Show and Floyd, so book this. I'm sure people will want to see it.
Braun is the new Big Show.
He has the power of the punch now, so yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was Braun Strowman as
That
the...
was Regal.
That's true. It was Regal, but Regal had, tainted power of the punch.
Big Show just had the knockout punch.
Right.
Yeah,
He did the exact same thing like that. He did the setup
Braun
exact-
did the same
pretty
thing.
Much, yeah.
He basically took the knockout punch from Big Show. Braun was the mystery partner for the Viking Raiders on their way to a victory over the OC. That match, again, just ends by disqualification when the three members of the OC, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows, just put a beat down on Braun Strowman 3-on-1, and the ref's like, all right, I've seen enough here. Ring the bell, disqualification.
You didn't do a 5 count?
No, it was just like, really
Gotta do a 5 count.
not much, you know?
But they're brawling throughout the whole match like that, and yet that was the moment where it's like, okay, now it's over.
Shows you the difference between WWE and AEW rules, right? AEW rules, a man who's not even in the match attacks somebody in the 6-man tag, and it's fine. The match continues. It's now 3-on-2. Who cares, Young Bucks? You don't have Kenny Omega anymore. Jon Moxley screwed you over again. But in the WWE, it's like if 3 guys who are in the match wind up by themselves with one of the opposing teammates, well, hey, you're disqualified. You know, like,
Well,
it's
wins
too
and,
far.
wins and losses matter in AEW, right? So it meant something that they got the win in the end.
Should have been a disqualification. It was still weird. I still don't get it. I want to watch more AEW to understand what the rules are of this new wrestling promotion. Thankfully, I don't have to wait long. Wednesday night in Boston.
Comes again quite soon. They've already announced some matches too, haven't they?
I think so.
That's what's great about AEW. It's like they kind of already have it planned out, almost everything.
I think Shawn Spears might be wrestling on this card.
Ooh.
Yeah. Other things too. It'll be all right. We're not talking about AEW here, though. We're talking about WWE Hell in a Cell. Apparently, there were boos and AEW chants as Hell in a Cell went off the air because people not too happy with that main event, not too happy with this card that was really cobbled together last minute. A couple days ago, there were 3 matches for this thing. Yesterday, they added a 4th when they put Charlotte and Bayley on it, and then they added just 4 matches slapped together earlier on today. Natty and Lacey Evans. They put on the Kabuki Warriors match they added today. Officially Gable and Corbin, and then the OC against Viking Raiders Braun Strowman match was also announced today. The Randy Orton-Mustafa Ali match was just kind of put out there on pay-per-view, and it's like, yep, we're doing this now. We're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
It was a house show match, essentially.
It was a house show match, right?
Well, I felt like it was a house show kind of pay-per-view in a sense, which is kind of terrible. But there were title changes, so it was actually somewhat important because of that.
Yeah, it almost felt like a Starrcade on the WWE Network,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like a house show with a name, you know? It's a house show, but it's got a title. But at least this one, you had some championships moving around. I like the Kabuki Warriors becoming the new women's tag team champions. Charlotte Flair becoming the new SmackDown women's champion, I think says more about what's about to happen in the draft. Becky Lynch holding on to the title on Raw. Charlotte Flair becoming the new champion on SmackDown. I think we probably keep Becky on Raw and keep Charlotte on SmackDown moving forward.
Well, you got to wonder what's going to happen to Bayley now. Maybe Bayley's going to go to Raw.
It would make sense for Bayley to go to Raw and maybe for Sasha to go to SmackDown at this point. Sasha's had a couple attempts at Becky Lynch losing,
Right.
Yeah.
Bayley just went to SmackDown. Like, we were at that SmackDown at the Superstar Shakeup. Bayley made her SmackDown debut.
When was that?
Was that in May?
Oh, yeah. They just had a shakeup,
So Bayley just jumped from
I
Raw
for-
to SmackDown. She was a Raw superstar for years, and then she just made a SmackDown change. Like, oh, Bayley's on SmackDown. Now it's like, oh, just move her back to Raw, I guess.
Whatever. She won the title. She became the Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
Now she can go back to Raw.
Well, it's like you
Work on
said.
SmackDown is done.
Like, what's she going to do? Feud with Charlotte again? I mean, she's more than likely going to lose.
I don't know, Carmella? You know, we haven't really had a Baymella thing.
What's the point?
Yeah,
good
no
chemistry.
one needs to see that.
No one needs to see Bayley versus Carmella in a program on the undercard.
Okay. You can, though. They can make it interesting. I'm just giving you guys options here.
I'm not into that.
The Becky option, I think, is the best option.
Becky and Bayley.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had something there, and they never really got into it.
Right.
They just scratched the surface. I think Becky Bayley works, and I think Sasha Charlotte works too.
Well, that's
they've
been
done
done.
that a lot.
Yeah.
So
But you're right. Yeah, I mean, so what? I mean,
it works.
yeah, that's
You
it.
may be the queen, but I'm the boss.
Yeah, it's all been done. Whatever. Do it
Yeah,
again.
You
well,
may be
you-
the boss, but I'm the queen.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
okay,
you
okay.
throw a couple other people in there, and you make it more interesting. You know, you put in whoever, Liv Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Liv Morgan comes back with Sasha Banks and attacks Charlotte because Charlotte beat her up and embarrassed her last time we saw Liv Morgan on TV. You would assume at some point Liv Morgan would get revenge, but, you know, maybe not. Maybe we'll just forget about her. Maybe we'll see her on NXT.
But doesn't Sasha have to change her hair, though? Because she's too blue, like you said, right? She can't be on SmackDown if she's that blue.
What's the blue brand?
Yeah, but you said it's like off-putting, the fact that you see her like that, right? On the show.
She's like too blue.
Right.
Whatever. I don't think they mind. I think they'll do it.
Well, they've done it already, right? She wrestled on SmackDown this week.
Yeah.
So.
It was fine. It's fine. What else here happened on this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view? How about the before we move on though, Charlotte Flair becoming champion? Like, I don't know. She's a great champion. She's good and all, but I feel like it's been done so many times.
10 times before.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
Got
is
6
this
more to go.
is this the right move at this point? Is this what you want to do?
Well, you know they're going down the path where she has to beat 16, right? So why not get closer to it?
I feel like the WWE went safe tonight. They were like, okay, we got this big draft coming up. We're trying to, make one brand here on Raw and one brand here on SmackDown. Let's make our champions as safe as possible. Let's get the WWE title on Brock. Let's keep that Universal title on Seth. Let's give Becky a title. Let's give Charlotte a title. Let's give Asuka and Kairi Sane titles. They're solid. They're trying to get all their ducks in a row and kind of have a group of champions that are all solid that you can kind of use as a starting point to work from and move forward in the stories. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, completely.
Like,
yeah.
they're good anchors.
Yeah.
They're all good anchor champions, and they've kind of set themselves up. They started it on SmackDown, and they finished it all out tonight.
Even like the Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion, if you look at it.
Well, yeah, AJ Styles is a U.S. Champion, solid. Shinsuke Nakamura is Intercontinental Champion, solid. You know, even the 24/7 Championship went back to the most solid holder of that belt in R-Truth tonight.
That's
right?
true.
Oh, they might as well just call it the R-Truth title, considering how many times he just wins it all the time.
20-time champion.
Yeah.
Woo!
He'll be a 100-time champion, I imagine.
Sure,
soon.
whatever.
But it's good for him, you know. It gives him something to do.
But that's what they did. They're getting ready for the draft. They're getting ready to kind of move things around. But before they do that, they're going to kind of solidify their major pieces and put them where they're supposed to be in the grand scheme of WWE, right?
Right. I still think the WWE Championship is going to Raw, and I still think the Universal title is going to SmackDown, regardless that Seth retained. I still think Seth was going to SmackDown anyways. It's rough because of Becky, right?
Well, yeah, that's not happening. They're not separating Becky and Seth. I think Becky and Seth will stay on Raw. But more than that, I think Brock will stay on SmackDown because it's the A show and he's the A champion.
He's still not going to be around that much, though, I don't think.
Says you.
You think Brock is going to be there full time? I have a hard time believing that.
I don't know. I mean, the WWE just got a lot of money from Fox to do this deal. They brought Pyro back. They got Cain Velasquez. They're spending money. Who says they couldn't spend more money to get more Brock?
I'd be very surprised. Very shocked to see Brock more often. I mean, just to see him is something. For him to wrestle like he did on SmackDown.
Wow.
We just saw Cain Velasquez beat him up on SmackDown. Cain Velasquez showed up on SmackDown. I mean, the WWE is doing the most right now.
I'm not that impressed, by the way. He comes out in a knee brace. Like, man, Kane's like damaged goods going into this.
You want to fight Francis Ngannou, John?
Cain in a knee
If
brace.
he's got a knee brace, I have a better shot.
Oh, Cain in a knee brace still beats you up in 3 minutes flat.
Yeah, but
Cain
against
in
Brock,
a knee brace puts you to sleep in under 2.
against Brock though, like,
Cain in a knee brace beats Brock in under 5 still.
wow.
You kidding me? Go watch that fight again.
Yeah, well, I watched the last Kane fight, and he didn't last too long in that fight. So
Yeah, but watch the Cain and Brock Lesnar fight. Watch how that went.
okay, but his knee wasn't all banged up like it is now.
Yeah, well, Brock Lesnar was on steroids last time he fought.
Okay, fine. So what? He's probably on steroids now.
Well, maybe
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably. Maybe if Cain was on steroids, he wouldn't have hurt his knee.
What does that have to do with anything? His knee's hurt.
Well, I'm
That's the
saying
main thing.
you're bringing up what happened in Cain Velasquez's last fight. Let's bring up the fact that Brock Lesnar tested positive for steroids in his last fight. How about that, John?
His last fight was against Overeem, was it not?
No, it was against Mark Hunt,
Oh,
where
yeah,
he
Mark
won
Hunt,
a
yeah.
3-round decision that was then overturned to a no contest because he tested positive for steroids.
August of 2016.
Okay.
Sup? I'm just saying, like, why you got to disparage the good name of the great Cain Velasquez?
I'm
He's
just
the
saying,
man.
what kind of match are we going to get here if Kane's kind of already injured going into this? I'm a little concerned for that. And Cain hasn't really wrestled that much, period.
I think it'll be fine. I think the match will be fine. Apparently, they're going to wrestle with Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. You think they really do it one-on-one here at Crown Jewel? Like we're rushing it? Halloween? October 31st?
It's like a WrestleMania, so why not?
It's going to be massive. If they really do Cain Velasquez, Brock Lesnar, and Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman, good God almighty.
And Team Hogan versus Team Flair?
That match is going to suck.
Although Hogan and Flair might get into it, that I'm holding out for that.
Hogan
They
might
trade
punch
punches.
Hogan might punch Flair, and Flair might do a bump.
He might start bleeding. Too.
Wow. It's going to be so hot for him bumping.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't, though.
I definitely want to watch Crown Jewel. Like, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
Checking some of the comments here. Ray Cruz says, main event was horrible.
That's right, Ray.
Official Prince Sean says, Lord help us because Seth is almost dead.
All the blood he lost? Yeah, he should be almost dead.
Derek John says, Becky Sasha was the best match by far. Ain says, The Fiend deserves better. Does he?
It's
I
hard
mean,
to-
he stood tall at the end of the night over the Universal Champion.
Yeah, but how long was he just laying there, like, taking a beating?
He's a lazy guy.
Wow. It looked really bad with him just taking, like, those stomps and then just, like, hardcore shots all
There's
the time.
not much else he can do. Like,
He's not a great athlete.
He's a pretty limited wrestler.
Well, I guess that's why they do all the fancy stuff to hide that.
Yeah, they wanted to hide it so much that they made the arena so dark you could barely see the match.
That must have been rough for the live crowd watching that.
With the cage, too.
I am
Watching through the
so
cage.
glad that, that wasn't our pay-per-view. Like, I'm so glad I didn't buy a ticket for that show. You buy a ticket for Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, 2 days before, you only know 3 matches that are going to happen, and then you go to the pay-per-view and you get stuck with that. All right, out of 10, what are we giving it? I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. That was not a good show tonight. One of my lowest rated pay-per-views of the year. That might have been the worst pay-per-view of the year from the WWE. 3 out of 10. 3 smacks. No, wait, that's only on Smackin It, the Smackdown show. If you miss Smackin It, go watch it right now on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. We talk about everything, MMA, pro wrestling, Smackin It, the Smackdown show. Me and this guy.
We smack it.
We smacked it. We hit each other several times on the show, so you can see that. So I'm giving it 3 out of 10. This pay-per-view was jabroni trash.
I think we'll give it a 4.
Generous.
3, maybe even like a 2. It was just boring.
Bad show.
So 2.5?
It was just a bad house show kind of set of matches, and nothing really stood out. The Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan match, we didn't really talk about that too much. That was fine. And the Sasha and Becky match, that gets all the points. Everything else was just forgettable.
Yeah. Sasha and Becky, match of the night.
Can't even think of criticisms.
Roman Reigns.
Well, there was nothing really to criticize.
No.
Just that it was just long and
Just
it's like
well,
pointless.
it's there.
Yeah.
It's over now, which is good.
I'm glad it's over. I'm
Yeah,
glad
that's
Hell in a
bad
Cell is
when
over.
you're saying that, though.
Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan got the win over Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, a combination of a Superman punch, running knee, and then the spear on Harper to get the win. Daniel Bryan wanted a hug after the match. Roman gave it to him. They hugged. The crowd seemed to like it, even though it was kind of confusing. WWE still trying to get Roman over as a babyface, and they used Daniel Bryan to do it tonight.
I like the table spots they did. That was fun.
Yeah.
I like how it was no DQ out of nowhere.
No DQ tornado tag out of nowhere.
Right.
I liked Harper's dive where he looked like he ripped his face off on the bottom of the announce table.
Those things are scary. You can really hurt yourself on stuff like that. I remember Allman Johnson, he took the table like that, put his hand, and I guess he hit a nail or something. That was the end of Allman Johnson, WWE.
Well, Harper's very tall to be doing a dive outside the ring like that, too. He doesn't have a lot of room to land.
He's done it before.
Yeah, I know. Just, it's a dangerous move. More dangerous because he's so tall. But that match was really nothing special. Daniel Bryan just kind of helps Roman. 2 baby faces.
He was bleeding, though, Daniel Bryan, from his back. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, he looked like he took something. Was it a power bomb?
Something like
There's
that.
a series of pretty high angle suplexes that Harper was given, and that looked kind of reckless too.
He took some rough bumps, but nothing on his head or anything. He seemed all right.
It looked like he took a bit of a beating in that match.
Luke Harper, he's rough.
It's Daniel Bryan. He's supposed to take a beating. It's what he does.
That's good, I guess. But
Vince says I owe him one.
That's right, pal. And Randy Orton beating Mustafa Ali with the RKO. Really nothing special. No point to that. The Street Profits doing their little promo. Why was Tamina used there to become 24/7 champion? And what happened to the marshmallow?
I think lost on WWE.com, some sort of segment they played.
Mm-hmm.
And Tamina, I guess because shows that she can actually do something again, so they used her.
I guess she ran through the arena away from R-Truth. She used Funaki.
That was fun.
Who's on the Japanese commentary team. She used Funaki as a human shield, and then Truth and Funaki did a face-off, and Tamina tossed Funaki into R-Truth, turned around, got hit with a super kick from Carmella, and then Truth pinned Tamina, not Carmella, but Truth pinned Tamina for the 1-2-3 to become the new 24/7 7-Eleven 58-20, 420 RVD champion.
Is it RVD? Really? Did you say RVD?
No,
It'd be awesome if he said
it'd be
RVD.
funny if he added that one in. You know, he's always throwing around 7-Eleven television champion, European champion,
Yeah.
420 RVD title. I mean, that'd be funny, right?
That'd be hilarious if he had RVD 420, yes. But I don't think he did. But
AEW champion.
That would be hilarious.
oh, Sammy already said that already.
You're the new Chris Jericho champion.
Do you guys see the graphic, by the way, on Fox that they thought it was Sami Zayn, but it was actually Mojo Rawley?
Yes. Very funny. On the blue carpet, the SmackDown preview show on Fox, they're interviewing Mojo Rawley, and under Mojo's name, it says Sami Zayn. Sami spelt Sammy,
Right.
and Zayn spelt Zane, where Sami Zayn in the WWE spells his name Samizayn, right? Not Zane and not
Right.
Sammy. So it's Sami for Sami Zayn. But I think they should go with it. What else is Mojo Rawley doing? I think Mojo Rawley, because he kind of looks like him now that I think about it, and now that you see the picture, they kind of look alike. I think Mojo Rawley should go by Sami Zayn. 2 M's and a Y. Zayn, Zane. Not to be confused with the other Sami Zayn. I think that would be a funny gimmick.
Yeah, that could work. Are they long lost family relatives?
No, they're
No,
not
or he's
related
just
at
Sami
all.
Zayn?
They're not related at all. Mojo Rawley comes out, cuts a promo, and goes, look, Fox got it right. Sami Zayn is actually my real name. Everybody knows my name isn't really Mojo. That's a ridiculous name that the WWE gave me. My real name, as Fox discovered, is Samuel Zayn. I'm Sami Zayn. The other Sami Zayn happens to have the same name as me, but I'm the Sami Zayn who wrestles. I'm wrestler Sami Zayn. He's manager Sami Zayn. And then they could feud over the rights to the name Sami Zayn. They could have a Sami Zayn on a pole match where, like, the rights to the name are on a contract or on a ladder or something. Like, I would go with it. You know, it went around Twitter. People had a good laugh. I would actually do something with it. I would be like, you know what, Mojo? Now you are Sami Zayn. And you and Sami are going to feud over the name Sami Zayn.
It gives him something, Mojo. I don't know if it's great for
I should
Sammy,
write for
though.
WWE, right? Like, that's a good idea.
Of course it is. But I don't think it's great for Sammy, though. I mean, what he's doing with Nakamura is much better than if he started a feud with Mojo Rawley.
Well, at least in my scenario, he gets to wrestle.
Yeah, but I like him with Nakamura, though. I think it's a good tandem, like especially if they team together.
They could keep him with it. It's just another thing that he has to deal with. And Sammy is kind of doing like comedy and improv, so it'd give him a lot to work with, you know, working with Mojo and being all like angry and like, I'm Sami Zayn. And,
Yeah,
like,
he stole my name.
Yeah. Like
I think that'd be funny.
It could be a lot of material to work with, and Sammy
And a
is
feud-
pretty adept at comedy.
And a feud with Mojo over the name Sami Zayn is so ridiculous that he could also do the Shinsuke Nakamura stuff at the same time. Like, it
Right.
wouldn't take up that much time because it's not like WWE would focus that much on a feud so ridiculous over the name Sami Zayn that Mojo Rawley now claims as his legal birth name.
I just worry that we've seen Sammy when he's not with Nakamura. He's pretty much destroyed. Like when he was on SmackDown, he wrestled, I think, Samoa Joe, and he just got squashed.
Is Sami
but-
Zayn just like
yeah, but-
Bobby Heenan at
Yeah,
this
but
point?
that's Samoa Joe. I'm talking about Mojo Rawley, a.k.a. Sami Zayn.
I worry they do the same thing to him again. They'd have him get squashed by Mojo or something. Because they don't really treat him as a serious threat whatsoever. They keep pushing the fact that he never wins a match or he hasn't won a match like in forever.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good when it's like that.
It's not good for Sami Zayn. Things are not looking up for Samuel Zayn.
I feel like they want to make him a manager. Like that's just what he is now. Like he's like a new Vicky Guerrero or something.
He gets a better push
He's
that
gonna
way.
get
So
more clients or something, and he'll be.
Yeah.
That could happen, but
Vicky got a good push.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find some sort of positive outcome. You know, like they have a vision, but you know.
I say keep him with
After all
Nakamura.
this talk about NXT, you know, Sammy's one of these guys who built NXT. Look at him now.
Okay, sure. We can say the same thing about Cesaro, right?
Or Pac.
Yeah.
I think
Pac's doing well.
Yeah, I think Pac's
yeah,
okay.
but
yeah.
not when he was king of the cruiserweights and all that.
Yeah, I think the best way to graduate from NXT is to leave the WWE and go to AEW.
Well, now it is. I mean,
look at the former NXT champions. You know, the guys who really were in NXT and stayed there for a while as champion. You know, Nakamura,
right?
Finn Balor, Sami Zayn,
Samoa Joe,
Neville,
Right?
Samoa Joe. How
Bo
they doing?
Dallas.
How are any of them doing on the main roster?
I think Bo Dallas is happy what he's doing.
What are you talking about?
He's got a job. I'm sure he's happy.
Okay.
His brother's doing better.
Any of them become championship level, like any former NXT champion become main event level and stay main event level other than Seth Rollins, who was the first champion and wasn't really an NXT guy.
I feel Samoa Joe at times has had moments where it seemed like he could be in the main event.
He hasn't been WWE or Universal Champion.
But he's gotten shots, though, and he's been in main event matches.
I mean, you could have gone with Finn Balor. At least he'd become Universal Champion.
Right, but now he's back at NXT, so now it feels like...
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, they kind of
That's
flirted
what I'm
with
saying,
for
like,
a bit, but
yeah.
then he went back down.
They tried with Kevin Owens. I mean, maybe he just beat Shane in the ladder match, so
Right.
maybe finally they'll do something with him. But, like, Nakamura, you know, it didn't quite work out. He won the Rumble, but he didn't win the title. Like, so
Right.
many of these guys that have
Yeah.
become NXT champion, that have become
Yeah.
kind of the man in NXT and have carried the brand, when they go up to the main roster, nothing.
It's sad. It's unfortunate, but things like that work out, you know. It's not the first time. I'm sure that's happened in the past. A lot of guys, like when they went from TNA, Christian, like, great push, became champion, was like undefeated, I think, for a year or something. Came back to WWE, ECW champion, but never a top guy, really.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know, we've had it where people have gone down to the minor leagues, in a sense, come up, and not succeed, unfortunately.
Well, John, we're talking about different things here. You're talking about somebody leaving the WWE to go to the competition in TNA, as opposed to somebody signing with the WWE, making the WWE a lot of money and bringing in a lot of fans by running NXT and being in the developmental system. And then when they come back to the WWE, or when they get brought up to the main roster, nothing really happens, as opposed to coming back to the WWE where nothing happens after you've turned your back on the company. Two totally different things.
Yes and no. Like, with NXT, it's kind of different. Just the way they've set it up, where Triple H runs it, right? So you're under Triple H's leadership. And when you get
That's right.
up to the main roster, you're under Vince's eyes, so it's kind of like it's a whole new ballgame.
That's right, and it doesn't seem to translate. Right?
I don't know what this is supposed to be.
So, you know,
Let's make them
things get
chance.
lost, much like how you went from Dixie Carter back to Vince. It's just totally different leadership, totally different eyes looking at you. EC3, great champion there, now completely lost.
Also, the people that Vince likes in developmental aren't the guys that Triple H picks to be champion. You know, like Baron Corbin was in NXT, never was champion. He's doing a hell of a lot better on the main roster. Elias, never anything special, developmental. He usually has a spot segment every week because I'm sure he plays Rolling Stones songs for Vince backstage, and Vince loves that.
Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss,
Roman Reigns.
Carmella.
Roman Reigns.
A lot of people, not much in developmental. Main roster, everything.
Kind of maybe shows sort of the impasse that Triple H and Vince have. They have
Corbin
different
got
eyes for talent.
Corbin got a pretty big push in NXT though.
But he was never a champion. Like he
But he lost to like Apollo Crews, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
Like on the takeovers, it was like Corbin and Apollo Crews, and then Corbin lost. Now it's like, that'd be ridiculous, you know?
Well, Paul Cruz was another guy, maybe never won the title, but if they had the North American title back then, he definitely would have been the champion, I'm sure.
Probably.
So-
Apollo Crews is a guy that probably will find himself back in NXT one of these days, right?
Not a bad thing for him because he's been kind of lost on Raw and SmackDown.
I think it would be one of the best things for him. All right, guys, we are running along here. It's getting late. You want to check out some of these comments? Ray Cruz says Scarlett Bordeaux attacked Charlotte. There were rumors that the smoke show Scarlett Bordeaux of Impact Wrestling fame had signed on to WWE. I don't know if that's true or not.
She
but
attacked Charlotte? When?
Yeah, when
no,
did this
no.
happen?
I think that's just a fantasy booking thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Didn't
I'm
happen.
sure he wants it to happen, but yeah.
Yeah, Derek John says 4.5 out of 10. Without the Becky Sasha match, it would have been a 2. So he's being very generous there, giving it a 4.5 out of 10. I gave it a what did I give it, a 3?
Yeah, you gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. You gave it a 2. You gave it a 4 out of 10. Ray Cruz gives it a 3. Paul M says the first hour was good. The rest felt like an episode of Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Bob Cote says WWE booking at his finest. LOL. Terry Funk says AEW. Terry Funk, the Funker.
Oh, forever.
Hey there, Terry Funk. How you doing? I love you.
Chainsaw Charlie.
Hey there, Chainsaw Charlie. Old Chuck. Gentleman Charles. Jacorian Carter says AEW. A lot of people just shouting out AEW. Joker Dan says, so Mankind... This is a good one. So Mankind falls off the cell. That's fine, but Sledgehammer used is a disqualification.
Yeah, it's true. It was a DQ
It wasn't
in a cell match.
It wasn't a DQ.
No, it was DQ.
Ref
The
stoppage.
ref's a stoppage.
Ref
yeah.
They
stoppage.
didn't say your winner, Seth Rollins, either, due to ref stoppage.
That's very interesting. I hope it wasn't declared a no contest because that's really
Probably
ridiculous.
was.
That's horrible.
When there's a ref stoppage, I want it to be violent, and I want to be sitting at home being like, oh, yeah, stop this match. This is horrible. You know? I want something horrible to happen. This was not horrible.
Well, especially
You know?
when the other guy comes up.
I watched
right
a
away.
pay-per-view last night, and there was a ref stoppage because Israel Adesanya knocked Robert Whittaker out of his wits. You know? Like, he just knocked him silly, punched him in the face, and dropped him. TKO, ref stoppage, second round. That's a ref stoppage. When somebody is just beaten severely and they look all messed up. Bray Wyatt, like, you couldn't even tell what was going on. And he got hit. I mean, the ladder that was on him got hit with a sledgehammer. That's not a good ref stoppage. That's not violence. Replay says, gosh, WWE is awful at booking now.
They've been awful for a while.
Well, let's be fair, too. They've just booked a big Raw season premiere.
Big SmackDown.
They're another big NXT.
They put all their eggs on the TV basket, and they forgot they had Hell in a Cell tonight. Let's be honest.
It was the leftovers, pretty much, was Hell in a Cell.
This was an overblown network special. You know, it's good that the WWE has the network and doesn't try to sell these things on pay-per-view anymore, right? Because on pay-per-view, no one would have bought this thing.
I hope
On the
not.
network, you're already paying your $12 a month. You're paying $12 for the month of October because you'll probably get Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar at the end of the month in Saudi Arabia. So this was, you know, free. The $12 is for Brock and Cain. The $12 is for Saudi Arabia. It's for Tyson Fury. It's for the crown jewel. And this was free.
It's kind of crazy, though, like all the hours of television they've given you and then the pay-per-view, and guys still couldn't make TV or pay-per-view. It's pretty bad.
What do you mean?
Aleister Black, we haven't seen him at all.
Andrade.
The B team. I'm not saying like you need to see the B team,
Oh,
but
You
Bo
keep bringing up
Dallas.
the B team.
why not? Like,
Well, how about this? The WWE advertised Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sting, and The Undertaker for SmackDown, and nobody showed up.
it's pretty bad. Well, Taker was there, but apparently they told him like he wasn't needed.
Wow.
If
Yeah.
I bought a ticket, I would just want Taker to come out at the end of the show, do his entrance, say somebody's going to rest in peace, and then go home, you know?
Right.
Austin's music hits, or like
bash.
Sting comes out. You know, I mean, it would be very easy if they were there in the building. If the WWE advertised them, I assume that they paid for their flights and brought them there, or maybe they just didn't even bother. I don't know, but if they were there, I thought I saw Sting like on a blue carpet or something. Wasn't
I
Sting
feel
in the
like
building?
yeah.
I feel like
he
Sting and
was.
Austin were in the building.
Sting was
Yeah.
interviewed.
To
He was wearing
me,
his face paint.
if these guys are in the building, do a special thing, put it on YouTube, do it when the cameras go dark, have Undertaker come out, have Sting come out and interrupt him, have them do a face-off, and then glass breaks, Steve Austin comes out and says, "Hell, son, you guys look a little tense. I think what you need is a nice cold beer." And then beer bash with Taker and Sting. They have some beers. They, you know, then they put their hands up together and everybody goes home seeing an incredible moment. You don't even have to put it on YouTube. Just do it for the live crowd.
Right.
Like, they bought tickets. some of those people bought tickets to see Sting. Some of them bought tickets to see Taker. Some of them bought tickets to see Steve Austin. You advertise those guys. I understand card is subject to change, but when you're advertising 3 of the biggest stars in the history of the wrestling business and they don't show up, you screwed up. That's a bait and switch, and that's not cool.
Well, The Rock showed up, so The Rock, took priority over everybody. So.
Not good enough. Calling people crackheads and virgins and STDs, not my idea of entertainment. I know a lot of people like The Rock. I like The Rock too, but I didn't like that promo. I don't think I'm a big fan of the writing of Brian Gewirtz.
I thought The Rock looked amazing, though. Man, he looked huge.
Yeah, he looked jacked, but, who cares? The Rock's not on a wellness policy.
And I like the Burger King line. I thought that was pretty good.
You think The Rock could pass a
Jerry
UFC?
Lawler also.
You think The Rock could pass a UFC drug test?
He will be at UFC, won't he be? He's going to be at...
Yeah, he's going to be giving out the championship. He's presenting the BMF title to the winner of Nate Diaz and George Masvidal. I think George would be cool because they're both from Miami and stuff, and I think The Rock's kind of pulling for George Masvidal. You better hope Nate Diaz doesn't win that title because Nate will slap the hell out of The Rock.
I don't think he would, but okay.
Oh, yeah, yes, he would.
He would.
I don't care who you are.
Are you kidding me? Nate Diaz does not care who The Rock is. He will slap the taste out of The Rock's mouth if The Rock says the wrong thing.
Yeah, but The Rock's not going to say anything.
You better not. You better be cool, Dwayne. Stockton in the house.
What?
Speaking of Northern California, Charlotte lost to Bayley in Charlotte, North Carolina at the last pay-per-view. Bayley tonight losing in Northern California. She's from San Jose, but this was in Sacramento tonight. Not too far away. I think this was a little retribution, hometown, always lose in your hometown, WWE ruling type of thing, right? WWE always does this to people in their hometown. They job them out.
It's also just you don't want to wrestle Charlotte too many times because she's eventually going to win the championship. So if you beat her once, never wrestle her again.
Charlotte beat Trish at SummerSlam in Toronto at Clash of Champions at SummerSlam, right?
Right.
Clash of Champions. She loses in her hometown of Charlotte, and then in almost Bayley's hometown, but her home state and their home part of the state beats Bayley. A lot of hometown stuff going on for Charlotte this summer.
Well, and she was like SmackDown Women's Champion for 20 seconds until Bayley took it from her. So
Oh yeah.
it's been going back and forth between them for a while. It might go back and forth again. Who knows? Because they got to get that number up.
Not to Bayley, excuse me.
You never know. Why not?
Because we just said Bayley's going back to Raw.
Well, nothing's for certain yet. The draft is only starts this Friday.
Starts Friday in Vegas. Will continue the following Monday in Denver, Colorado.
I mean, we can, maybe put a theory out there that this is going to happen, but we don't know for sure. WWE always likes to throw these little change-ups and, change everything up. Hopefully the announcers stay where they're supposed to be.
I'll say it again. If Brock Lesnar wants to challenge Cain Velasquez to a match, he should do it in 2 weeks, Monday Night Raw in Denver, Colorado. That elevation, everybody knows. Elevation Cain, not so good. Sea-level Cain, unstoppable. Everybody remembers the Verdum fight in Mexico City. Cain Velasquez, tired out because of the elevation. Everybody talks about sea-level Cain. But in Denver, Colorado, that thin air, that Rocky Mountain high, Brock Lesnar, I'm talking to you, talking strategy here, brother.
What about
Cardio, brother.
What about Saudi Arabia, where it's going to be really hot?
What's the elevation like?
I'm not sure.
Sea-level Cain.
There's mountains in Saudi Arabia, some mountain range.
If you're like a hardcore MMA fan, you know what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, sea-level Cain. Sea-level Cain.
Again, I worry about the knee, the knee brace. I mean, he's got to target that, Brock.
You worry about his knee. You're not worried about Rey Mysterio. He's had 30 surgeries in his left knee.
He came out on a cast, didn't he? He's already banged up or he's selling an injury.
Whatever. You see Rey Mysterio, he's like, whatever, me and Cain Velasquez, we're familia, we're raza. So basically he's like, hey, man, we're Mexicans, so, he's going to stand up for me.
Mexicans that were both born in the United States, both of them.
Brown pride.
Okay.
See that tattoo on Cain Velasquez? Brown pride.
I'm sure Ray
That's
has.
for Mexican.
Ray has a lot of them too.
He has a tattoo that says Mexican on his stomach, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. They're very Mexican centric with their tattoos. They both really like being Mexican, even though they're both technically American.
Well, California was part of Mexico for a very long time.
And it still should be.
The Baja region.
Do they want it back?
Baja.
Baja.
It's called Baja.
All right, this show's over. We are the Baja Men. We'll see you later.
It's a
Who let the dogs out?
good night.
Who indeed? Hell to Sell is over, Brother Neros. Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. Johnny and I will be back for Dave and Johnny Live on Friday afternoon. I will be back here Thursday night, 8 p.m. for Ringside Report. And then Smackin It with Dave coming up Friday night for a WWE Draft special. So right after SmackDown, Smackin It, the SmackDown wrap-up show going on Friday night right after SmackDown for the Draft special.
Cool.
Right?
Cool.
Like
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Follow us on the things. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Johnny North on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. He doesn't have anything, so you just follow Ringside Report at Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram.
Make complaints to him too that he doesn't have anything.
No. Complain to AJ at Ringside Report. He's the one who kind of mans a lot of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah. www.ringsidereport.net is our website. Go there. Watch all our shows. www.ringsidereport.net. Thanks, everybody, for watching the WWE Hell in a Shell. Turtle Power. Heroes in a Hell in a Shell.
Pizza power.
Turtle Power.
I like pizza.
Heroes in a Half Shell. Turtle Power.